Okay, thank you, Susanne, and thank you, Joseph. I see that you all hear me good. Uh, I will have my presentation today in English, and I think Joseph will help to translate it to Norwegian and Sami. But again, god dag og bore päive. My name is Harri Norberg, and I'm here in Rovaniemi, Finnish Lapland, and you can see that on this map on your screen, hopefully at the moment, with my opening slide. I now work in the Finnish Wildlife Agency, Finland's Vilt Central, but I worked in research earlier in the Finnish Game and Fisheries Research Institute at the Reindeer Research Station in Inari. And during that time, I made all these studies that I'm now going to present to you. So we drive forward. And I would say the same as Jenny, that there is so much to tell about this topic that 20 minutes is quite a short time, but I do my best to present you some insights about what we have learned in Finland. And I have to say that I have been following today also the seminar there in Gardermoen, and I can see that there is a lot of good research and knowledge available also in all Nordic countries. So we can do this together. But basically, what I'm talking about is about the radio telemetry studies on reindeer calf mortality, which we made in the whole reindeer management area in Finland, which is pretty large area. I will show later. And during that time, we gained a lot of experience on the different kinds of relationships between predator species and large carnivores and golden eagles, and of course, how they interact with reindeer. Then I continued for 5 years as a researcher at the Arctic Center in Rovaniemi at the University of Lapland. And which is interesting for this presentation is that during that time I had the opportunity to join BBC Natural History Unit 2 summers to do some filming project in the Fjell region of Finland, and we got some footage on one of these live episodes, mammals. It was so close, that means that we were trying to film the eagle attacking a reindeer calf, and we actually made it, but it was not included in the final episode, which was a little bit of pity. It was too far away shot. And then, just a second. Yeah, I now work as a senior planning officer, and I'm mainly responsible for different kinds of reports and registers now, and most issues in our agency is related to large carnivores. So I could have another presentation on large carnivore situation in Finland, but now today we go and focus on eagles. I have still my PhD work ongoing, and it's about the role of predation in mortality of semi-domesticated reindeer calves in Finland, impacts on calf production in varying conditions. This is one of the papers I already made in 2006 on the predation by golden eagle on semi-domesticated reindeer, together with Ilpo, Pekka, and Minna. And part of these results I show are based on this study. But since then, we have been thinking and processing many topics around predation issues on reindeer husbandry. And one paper published in Journal of Rural Studies says that, is this a mission impossible to live together with large carnivores or viable predator populations and have a sustainable reindeer husbandry in Finland at the same time? A good question. And then I was also involved in this book project, Reindeer Husbandry and Global Environmental Change. Let's start into the issue. You can see that this is the Finnish reindeer management area, northern part of Finland. And this is based on the old compensation statistics. The more dark area there is, the more there has been found eagle-killed reindeer calves or reindeer. And it's mainly in the fjell areas in the north, but to some extent also in the forest regions south from the fjell regions. As we have learned today already, most predation occurs between the calving season and July, even August, based on these old compensation statistics. And most of the found reindeer killed by golden eagle Finland have been calves, less than 6 months old. And just only few older reindeer included. And you can see that we are focusing on this time of the year, which starts from calving and extends to the autumn season. But it's important to knowledge that if we look at this map here, the most of the depredated or otherwise dead calves are not found as likely as adults, so there might be a little bit bias in there. Okay, golden eagle is mainly living in the reindeer husbandry area in Finland. So we have at the moment almost 600 known territories in Finland, and 90% of those territories are in the reindeer husbandry area, and 80% in Lapland. And we had, according to the last census, we had over 300 occupied territories in Finland, which means that there was about 360 occupied territories in the reindeer management area. Size of the nesting eagle population in the whole of Finland is around 400 pairs, plus minus some tens. And in addition, of course, there are these young golden eagles, as we call them, floaters. They are aged less than 5 years old. And these are an important portion of the population, also regarding the reindeer calf depredation. These are the study areas. We worked for 10 years with radio collars, radio mortality transmitters. We continued also 2 more years in the southeasternmost cooperative where predation, especially by wolves, is very high. But we will focus in this presentation in this region, which is the fjell region, and those 3 cooperatives that we made studies during the first, say, 5-6 years of the studies. So we used silent mortality VHF transmitters, which were mounted on the flexible collars, and we collared more than 4,000 reindeer calves during that time, 10 years period, and in different cooperatives and in different numbers per year. And that was a lot of different kinds of development work also to make this collar working. It was very good fun and worked pretty well. What we did then, before collaring the calves, of course, we had them weighed. So we had the measure of size, and we checked about the condition, what the sex the calf was, what kind of a color it was, and of course recorded the owner if we would find it later on, maybe dead. So of course it's important to know the owner. And in the left lower corner, that's me, somewhere in the middle of 90s in the reindeer research station, weighing a small just born reindeer calf, and that's the method that how we weighed the calves in the calving corral. So putting them into the back and using the spring scale to weigh them. Of course, the mothers of the calves are important, ecologically studied. So we measured their weight, age, dental conditions, and nutritional state measures too. So and had some colors on them. And this probably is quite familiar technique for most of you, radio tracking. And we had to use, of course, fixed wing aircrafts and helicopters because the areas were really big. And we could locate the transmitters even from 60 kilometers away where they were activated. There is someone online at the moment speaking, so I don't know if the moderator can silence there, but we go on. Of course, we did some ground tracking, like here in the picture in the right lower corner, using the four-wheelers and moving on the terrain to find the carcasses. And then we located the dead calves for doing the necropsies, as we have learned today, how to do the inspection of the cause of mortality. So we did the same for each and every found carcass. We used a lot of different kinds of methods to locate the calves, and here we have also a dog with a team finding the carcass. But the radio tracking, of course, was the main technique. Just few pictures of the other kinds of sources of mortality. You can see that if a brown bear attacks a reindeer calf, a small one, there is hardly anything left from a calf, and you can see that the depredation is done by a bear, and you can also find some hoofs of the calves in the feces of bear in that area. So you can see that there is depredation by brown bear, but this was in the southern study areas, not in the not that much in the northern parts. Then there are some pictures of how it looks when a wolf predates on a reindeer calf. There is lots of remains usually left on that after a wolf attack. And then we have the golden eagle predation and how it looks when you find a carcass. Pretty typical scavenging style that the golden eagle has, opening the chest area and some parts of the leg area, and also eating something from the jaw area. And you can see, as we have learned today, how the cause of death is verified as a predation. There are talon perforations and hemorrhages seen in that calf in here. You can see I'm moving my cursor, and then even this calf had a talon that had perforated through the skull to the brain. So you will see that, of course, the golden eagle has a lot of power in its talons, and that's what we heard today too. Very interesting to hear what Alvotar said. And here you see the thumb talon or the back talons perforation, and then 3 smaller perforations from the talons. Klumärke. And then some results. First, we started 97, 98 here in the reindeer herding cooperative of Lappi, which is this part, showing now the red circle there. And that study year was after a pretty harsh winter conditions, and the reindeer were not in a very good shape during those years. It took a few years that the reindeer stock came back to good condition after that. So you see also that after the marking, this is starting from the ear marking in mid-June, there was a lot of mortality in the beginning, and it then evens down towards the October. Then next years in Ivalo, the mortality was lower, just some 5% of the calves succumbed, were dead during the study time. And then this area in Käsivarsi, we call Palojärvi region, we also get the same kind of figure for the mortality rate or survival rate, and some 6% mortality of the calves during that period of time. So not that big mortality numbers compared to these more southern study areas where brown bears and wolves were more abundant. So I will come back to that in my conclusions, but now I'm still focusing on golden eagle predation. So something is happening here in July and August especially, as you can see. There are some results from one of the study areas, Ivalo, for 3 years, and this is just to show that the survival of radio-collared calves, the effect of body mass means that these with green pillars, they are survived calves, and the ones with the red pillars are dead calves. And those who die usually are lighter than those who survive. The same applies also to the golden eagle predation. And this is to show that in 2001, the previous winter was really easy for reindeer. It was good snow conditions and lots of grazing, easy grazing for reindeer. And the mortality of calves was really low during the summer of 2001, and no golden eagle predation were observed during that summer. But in 1999 and 2000, we found quite many calves killed by golden eagles in that study area. This is the temporal distribution of golden eagle predation in our study. These northernmost study areas, and you see that most of the calves that we found dead were found in July and August. Just some in May and June, but of course we didn't have that much calves collared yet in May, but some we did. And why is this? Actually, I'm coming back to that soon. It's because the reindeer come to open habitats during July and August. They go into the alpine highlands or mountain birch zones, box and marshlands, clear cuts, any openings because of the insect harassment. And that is one reason that drives the reindeer to the mountains in the Finnish reindeer husbandry area. And that's where golden eagle predation risk is higher compared to the forest areas. We found even calves even up to 40 kilograms in size depredated by golden eagle in our study. And this is from August 1997. And you can see that the typical areas, as they usually are, in the chest area, perforating to the lungs. But in this case, the eagle talons have punctured the belly area here and some intestines coming out. And the calf has escaped the attack, but died later on in the forest. And then we found it. The role of predation, and this is to show quite quickly that the generalized distribution of the mortality that we found different sources of mortality in that area. Out of these total mortality percentages, like 5% or 10% in certain areas, golden eagle was part in 60% of the cases. 13% was some other large carnivores, and then 27% was other mortality. So there are causes also other than predation always included in the mortality of reindeer calves. And here you can see that impact of golden eagle in different years is varying between 0 to 5% of radio-colored calves, starting from the calf marking time. So this is pretty same that Jenny also showed some numbers in her presentation. So it's around that person. So we in our studies did not find higher percentages than 5% in any year and in any area of golden eagle predation on calves. But if we look, for example, here, areas where brown bear is an active predator, the percentage is raised easily up to 20% during summertime. So every fifth calf was lost. Yet back to the role of the eagle. So we found out that most of these calves that were determined to be killed by golden eagles were killed by young sub-adult eagles, and it was based on finding the feathers at the kill sites. So here you can see one picture of some feathers of a young eagle, and they were identified by a bird expert that always checked what age of an eagle was included in a kill. The question if the breeding golden eagles would be much involved in killing these reindeer-colored calves in our studies is quite well seen in this picture, that most of the calves were found over 10 kilometers away from the nearest occupied golden eagle nest, and only few were found less than 1 kilometer away from the active nest. So the breeding golden eagles in our study areas didn't have much effect on the calf mortality. And then just a few slides in the end about the BBC project. So this is the golden eagle view on the reindeer and its prey down there. We actually filmed one attack on a reindeer calf on the high mountain around 1,000 meters above sea level in July, and that was a light-colored calf by a young mother that fled ahead of the calf, leaving the calf exposed to the golden eagle. So we see the whole event happening all the time from the distance. But even though we had I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of euro worth of the telescope in this camera, it didn't give good enough footage to be included in that film, which is a pity, but it was a close one. But in this case, which leads us in the end also to the question, what is the role of white-tailed eagles, is that when we were observing this calf being eaten there by a golden eagle, we saw a white-tailed eagle flying from the Finnmark direction to the same site, and the white-tailed eagle sat calmly on a stone not very far away from the carcass where golden eagle was still feasting, and it just waited calmly until the golden eagle left and then took over the carcass. So that's a good example of the scavenging behavior of the white-tailed eagles in that area. We have also online Camilla Ekblad, who has made her PhD on the white-tailed eagle in Finland, and we see that also in the Finnish reindeer herding area, we do have white-tailed eagles close to these artificial lakes here, and in some regions where there are big lake areas. And the white-tailed eagle population has grown steadily also in Finland during the years, and it grows also in the reindeer herding area. So this issue about what is the role of white-tailed eagle in the calf mortality is of course relevant, but we know that we only know a few cases where white-tailed eagle has been even suspected on the killing of a reindeer calf, and few are very well documented, but some cases are a little bit more unsure. But of course, there are anecdotes also from the reindeer herders in Finland that has seen white-tailed eagles being not very often. Okay, I have used my time, and some conclusions are already been said. The mortality of golden eagle is pretty low in our studies, from 0 to 5% per year. And in areas with large carnivores, predation exceeded many years 20 to 25%. And then we had just few suspected cases on white-tailed eagle predation. Calves killed by wolves or lynx were not significantly smaller or weaker, so it means that it doesn't matter which size calf it is for a wolf or a brown bear, they can easily kill it. But for the golden eagle, it matters. So the calves that were killed by golden eagles were lighter than those that survived. Yes, I see that my time has been used. So selection for substandard individuals is then an issue for another time, another presentation. So I thank you, and tack, Ollu, kiitos.